We're here to talk about nutritionteas.com. What's Nutrition Teas?
For most people who spend 1 million hours in the gym and reading nutrition fact labels all day long, I wanted to make a t-shirt that was like kind of humorous on the actual label itself. So I made a design and sold shirts.
It's so easy to start a business and make money. You just like think of it, and then you just put it somewhere online, and then it just people give you money.
Well, I don't think of it like a business. Like I always just thought of it as like, these are just the one shirt, and that's what I did back in 2014. But then I redesigned it this year, and then I also did the powerlifter design. And it still doesn't feel like a business, just because it's just a t-shirt design, and I don't know if there is more to come from that.
I think that's actually a really interesting point, though, for like a lot of people starting businesses. Like when Facebook was started, or even AppSumo, obviously we're not on the same size because we're so much bigger than them. But like, that's a joke. Most of it just started out as like, hey, it's fun to do this. I want this. Like this would be something I like for myself. Like that's actually how a lot of successful, huge businesses start. Yeah. I wonder if some of it happens where you started in 2014, you sold some shirts. Like how much did you sell? I think like $10,000 worth? Something. And then you stopped. Yeah. And I think that's actually like a common thing, and maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
I stopped because I was just completely unsure about everything that I was doing. I wasn't handling the shipping and production, so I was just kind of in the dark on like making sure orders were completely fulfilled and whatnot. And at the time, like I was going through some like life issues. So it was taking the back seat, and at the end of it, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me stop.
Well, I mean, like if you could go back in time and like continue that business or change things, what would you have done differently?
Well, I think that's what I'm doing now. Is like I'm handling all the shipping myself. I'm handling all the orders of the actual shirts myself and fulfilling them on my own time. And then I remade the design so it wasn't personalized to me, because the old one had like my YouTube channel at the bottom.
How was that feeling when you get that like Shopify email notice that like, hey, you've made a sale, and then you package all that stuff? Like, what's that like? The
first time I did it back in 2014 was a lot more gratifying than this time, because this time I almost expected it because I did so well last time. But the first time felt amazing because it was like, I remember the first day I launched them, I got a few sales and I was really excited about it. And then the first time I had one of my friends post about it who had a decent following, I remember like within the first day I made like $1,000 of sales, and I'm like, this could be a thing.
Well, I guess two things about that is, number one, build or make things that you want for yourself or things that you're knowledgeable. Like weightlifting, you do it a lot. But two, what's interesting is that you already had connections and potential customers in that space, meaning that you had like Matt Ogus and other people who were influential that could also help promote your product. Right? So either if you don't have those, go get them, right? Not, hey, I need you for later, but like start helping people that maybe 1 year. Vanessa Van Edwards, when she launched her book, which was really interesting, she started helping the people that she wanted to work with her 12 months before her book launched. She'd hit them up and say, hey, I see you're working on this. I'm going to promote it to my audience. Maybe we can work together something in the future.
Honestly, like I think the thing that kind of helped with this, even if nobody knew who I was, I think the shirt just resonates with people on a different level, to the point where it's like anyone that's in that kind of that industry and who actually reads labels all day long is like, man, this is perfect, this is funny, like I want this shirt now.
That is interesting. I mean, there's a thing about the shirt where when people see the nutrition facts, they're like, oh, that's cool, where'd you get it from?
Yeah.
I wonder if people don't make things like that. They make things that people are like, I don't care.
That's a good point. That's kind of like how Ryan Holiday talks about, like he makes something that's going to work from the start. Whenever I wear the shirt to like expos and stuff like that, I get stopped at least 10 times of being like, what booth is selling that shirt?
Well, so let's talk about that. So number one, if someone else wants to start a shirt or hat or clothing type business, or like, what recommendations do you have for someone who wants to start like more of an apparel business to be, potentially successful? Obviously you're on the beginnings, but to get going.
Somebody who comes out with another like weightlifting design t-shirt, like what do, but it's just got to be something that when people see it, it's like, yes, I want this. It can't just be just a random shirt and you expect to make $1 million just making t-shirts and having a business.
I still say, like when I was starting in college, I started creating a Ninja card, which was a student discount card. And I will tell you, like the idea when someone sends you money and then you put their thing in an envelope and then you ship it out to them, has got to be one of the sweetest feelings like you can ever have.
It's pretty great.
So what made you revisit the idea? I think this is common for a lot of people where they started something, had it start working, and then they pulled back. I've seen this tons of times. So like you pulled back because you got busy. What made you want to revisit it?
I was kind of remorseful about stopping it a long time ago, but like I knew it wasn't the right time, and I just had to get away from it. So I've been wanting to do it again for a while now, and I know that there was always people that, like, if I did start it, would buy a shirt again because they liked the design, and I discontinued it.
So you're ready to start doing it. You sold how many in the past 2 weeks? All right, let's just say 50. Keep it simple.
50, yeah.
And how did you sell those 50?
Me directly posting to Instagram. I'd send them out to like a few of my friends who have pretty decent sized Instagram followings who would post it for me. So literally 90% of my sales are from Instagram referrals.
That's crazy. I think the thing that's interesting there is that if you're trying to sell anything, or you're trying to start a service business or a product business or a software business, how much have you built up your audience ahead of time? Or built up your relationships with influencers? So either built them up, like, blowjobs, whatever you have to do to get them to like you, or spend a lot of time putting out YouTube videos every week, putting out podcasts, doing blogging, doing social, doing Instagram, whatever it is. And then a year later, when you actually want to promote something or recommend something, you already have that audience or an email list. My question for you is that it's now end of November, holiday season's coming up. How do you plan to get people to know about it for the holidays?
That's usually just everything I've done was just straight from Instagram or other people who actually have followings. They're usually my friends, that's the thing. So like I've been friends with a lot of people in the industry before they ever actually had Instagram followings or big followings at all. So like whenever I have a product, they're like, yeah, I'll definitely share it for you. You know what I mean? I don't even have to ask.
I think one thing that would be helpful is what's the goal? Like for holidays, like, hey, how do I sell 100 shirts in December? So you have some type of thing to hit. It's like weightlifting. What's my weights I'm trying to do? Or, money, whatever it is. So
say 100 shirts for December, or like throughout the end of the year.
And what we just talked about in one of our other videos is that like, okay, well, what do you need to do to add up to make sure you can hit 100? So number one, you could line up all your influencers.
Yeah, so actually organizing when people are posting and stuff like that.
That's a great thing to start. Let's just make 5. Right. 1, you have all your influencer friends. 2, aren't you in any healthy groups on Facebook? Number 3, isn't there Reddit fitness? Go on Reddit in the fitness room and be like, hey, I made this shirt. What do you guys think? It's a lot of weightlifters, right? What other things do weightlifters do?
Eat and sleep.
Right, so there's protein. They buy that protein stuff. That, don't you have a few friends who run protein and nutrition companies?
Yeah.
So here's a good way to approach people where you don't feel like a dick. A lot of people go up to their friend that runs, like, let's say a professional, like BPN, Nick Bear, which you can check out our video, which is really good. Brandon made it. You can go to Nick Bear and be like, hey, I made this shirt. Can I get your feedback? This is one of my favorite things to do. Can I get your advice? Can I get your opinion? Can I get your feedback? How do you think I could promote this? And he'll be like, dude, why don't you let me promote it? That's what he's gonna do. And he'll probably give you a few other ideas about like, oh, you should talk to this guy. Oh, you should put it here. Hey, you should make a video on YouTube or some shit. Number 5, there's gotta be like e-commerce stores for fitness. Why don't you hit them up and be like, hey, can I send you 10 shirts to sell at your e-commerce store? Or give them a special that they could do a special on for their stores. So someone, basically I call it platform marketing. Like who's already got the platform of your customer? I mean, where'd you get this shirt from?
A show I competed in.
All right, well, here's another example. Why don't you go post in the bodybuilding.com forums?
Because they're kind of dead.
Well, there's still some people there. Can you ask your friends for referrals of other friends? Like, hey, can I, like, who else should, like me, I introduced you to a guy who should post, and then now he's probably gonna post about the shirt. Could you do referrals?
Yeah.
That was like at least 8. And you don't have to be a spammer. You can go to a forum and be like, hey, I made this, what do you guys think?
Yeah.